Grandma's house, Lily? Are you ready to go? Do you want to go with us? Let's go, Lily. Come on, let's go.
My dear Lily, we were connected before we even met. According to the Orthodox laws of Islam, dogs are illegal as pets inside the home. According to the Orthodox laws of Islam, an unwed mother is illegal in the world. Before we met, you and I were both lawbreakers. The dogma against you was final. The angels do not enter a house in which there is a dog. The dogma against me also was final. A woman who has a baby outside of wedlock is to be punished with 40 lashes in exile. But dear darling Lily, neither you nor I were going to live our lives with these laws of man. We were both meant to be outcasts from orthodoxy. We wouldn't allow that destiny. We would write our own script. In the late summer of 2011, I was a single mother, trying my best to raise my son, Shibli, through boyhood, chasing him first as a baseball mom, and then a hockey mom, and then a soccer mom, and then that summer, a football mom. One day, Shibli and I climbed into our Ford Escape and drove to a rest stop in upstate New York to get you. Your lineage went back to the great nation of Finland. You were a breed called Finnish Spitz. What I loved about your breed was that you were emotionally sensitive and caring, and you were. Your mom's name was Foxy. We named you Foxy Lilypad. We called you Lily. You became my co-pilot, shuttling Shibli to football, to school, to birthday parties, and back. What I didn't realize is that you were actually the pilot guiding me in this world. I worked several jobs out of the house to make ends meet and still be there to greet Shibli as he got off the bus. And you were too. Every step of the way you were with us, every night and every day for 9 years. When we couldn't shovel the driveway, you were there to watch the snowplow. When you ran away as a puppy to be free, I looked all night for you to see a sign on the pole, dog found. I learned that if I stayed put, you would always return. You were family. You were not just a dog whose value was in your job, as some in my orthodoxy believe. Like all beings, your worth came simply in your being. You became the reason we would go on hikes. You became my angel on earth. We ran the pink trail and stopped at trail's end. There I sat in the nook of a tree, a heart carved in its trunk, with you beside me on a ridge overlooking the Potomac River, losing myself in the rush of water sweeping by me. Your curly tail whipped around in the winter wind. You tethered me to the earth while I experienced the divine. We billy-goated onto the green trail along the Potomac River. With you, I discovered a field of bluebells I would have otherwise never known. When Shibli hit middle school, it was so hard. I didn't know how to raise this little boy who was now taller than me. My father came to live with us to help me. We walked in the darkness to the school bus, Lily beside us. As I faced attacks from co-religionists who opposed my arguments for Islamic feminism, you licked away my salty tears. There is another saying in the dogma of orthodoxy in Islam that claims that a dog's saliva is dirty. But it didn't matter to my father as we took our family picture to welcome the new year, 2016. You licked my father's face. He only laughed and grinned. There is another saying that a dog is impure. But you lay on my father's prayer rug, the prayer rug on which I have bowed my head since I was a girl. You made everything pure. As Shibli went into high school, you sat in the passenger seat as we navigated hours of driving to school on the Beltway around Washington, D.C., and then to his practice at D.C. Fencers Club. You'd yodel to Shibli through the window when he got off the bus, and you'd keep his seat warm. And then you'd keep him warm, too. With our every movement, we defied the orthodoxy. We defied laws in Muslim countries and taboos among the Orthodox Muslims in America. I drove while Muslim women in Saudi Arabia were forbidden from driving. I drove with the wind in my hair, something women in Iran aren't allowed to do. And you lived with your fur in the wind. Every time I glanced at your joy, I felt it too. We gave birth to the Muslim Reform movement, and you were the embodiment of it. In your surrender, you reminded me how simple freedom can be. We took the scarf off a doll named Fula because in our interpretation of Islam, she was not too sexy for her hair. But in the orthodoxy, she had to cover her hair. As Muslim women in Saudi Arabia won the right for the first time to run for political office, Fula went with us to vote because that is a fundamental human right all women everywhere should be granted. You are not only a symbol of freedom to me, you are the living embodiment of freedom. In laughter and joy, even when my son wore a little deer costume and took you for a run. We must challenge dogma. That is what must happen. And this is what has happened. Fundamentalists have taken a puritanical view and tried to lay claim to our bodies, our hearts, our homes, and our pets. Just like they took a puritanical view on women, they did the same on dogs. They ruled that a woman is impure if we show our hair. They ruled that a woman is impure if she drives a car. They ruled that a woman is impure if she laughs too loudly or smiles too widely. None of that is true. It is dogma created by men to control half the population. And in the same way, they are using dogma to control our ability to experience the deep feelings of connection and bond that we know with dogs, that I knew with you, that our family knew with you. They want all of us, our bodies, our hearts, our spirits, our souls. But you and I, we rejected the dogma. A dog brings us joy. A dog brings us happiness. You brought us joy. You brought us happiness. To deny the love of a dog in our homes and in our lives, we are missing out on something so important, something so divine. Every one of us deserves an angel on earth like you. Some of us need the healing badly. The vulnerable, the ill, we all need it to soothe our souls, to help us heal. When our world went into lockdown, you journeyed with Shibli and me to my parents' home in Morgantown. When the cats cried, you smiled. For you, home was us. It has been 3 months since something happened that I could never have imagined. You left us from this earth, became sick, and I couldn't heal you. As much as I tried, as much as Dr. Jenny tried. You have been gone from this earth, dear Lily. But I do know deep in my heart you are not gone. I will spread this gospel that I will call the gospel of Lily. A dog is indeed God in the mirror. What is religion? The worst of religion is dogma that denies us life, love, and liberation. The best of religion gives us a path to the best of ourselves. The best of religion gives us a path to love, freedom, and spiritual liberation. The best of religion is the manifestation of the divine. You, dear Lily, like the beautiful four-pawed beings whose names have carried memories for their beloved, names like Paris and Snoopy. You have all been the divine on earth. Over almost 10 beautiful years with you, we were to learn something very simple and true. Dogs are angels on earth. You, dearest Lily, were an angel on earth. You, dear Lily, were an angel in our home. One time I met a psychologist, and I asked him, what is grief? It's an expression of love, he told me. When you grieve, you allow yourself to love again. How do you grieve? I asked him. You celebrate a life by living your life fully. I celebrate your life now. I saw the sunlight move in the kitchen the other day, and I saw you there. I hear the wind stir. I feel you. I keep on the kitchen floor the pellets of food that you would remove one by one from the other pellets that you liked, separating them. It's like a timeless gift to the gods. I dropped some cooked peas on the floor today, and for a moment I thought you would appear, and you did in my memory. When I put on coconut oil in the morning, I continue the ritual we practiced together. When I walk our trails now, I do so in honor of you. For almost a decade, you slept on the left corner of my bed, watchful of deers outside the window in the night. And now I still sleep on my side of the bed, my body still remembering that my feet stirring may startle you. As a touchstone to you, I linger my fingers on your honey-colored fur, still clinging to the bristles of your brush. It's Shibli and me now, driving without you nuzzling our ears in between. He is behind the wheel now. That little boy has grown into young adulthood. I am in the passenger seat. You, dear Lily, sweet Lily, are in the air, everywhere. And with this love expressed, I hope that the joy and happiness that you manifested in our lives will float into the lives of other families, other children everywhere. You are still an angel on earth. You will touch so many lives forever. With sweet love and devotion, your mama.